kinds of different technologies that we use every day. And we use them to stay connected, we use them for entertainment, we use them for business. But there are, on the other side of it, there are bad actors that are using those same devices, and they are trying to earn money the easy way. So what's important is that we understand that we are all at risk. Some of the things you may see in an email or a text message especially is you get a message and it says your account is locked, or you need to verify or update your account, or a package is undeliverable. These things are routine, they're regular, they're mass produced, so to speak, where a lot of those will go out to multiple phones or multiple emails simultaneously, because they are literally phishing. They're throwing it out to see who will respond to it. And so all these messages are designed to tempt us into clicking or opening or responding in some way. And that's what they want you to do. So it's important that we understand what to look for so that we don't click on messages or provide information to someone that is going to use it for a nefarious purpose. So some of the personal information that you need to be wary of giving out is your date of birth, your social security number, your email address, phone number, bank accounts, and credit cards. When it comes to sharing this information, it should be on your terms. You should initiate that. So if somebody's contacting you and saying, I want this, that should be a red flag. It should always be on your terms. You should decide when to share it and who you're going to share it with. It is, when people get a hold of this information, they trade it, they sell it, they use it. How many of you are familiar with the dark web? So the dark web is the internet. It's just not the internet that you go to every day. It is really out there, and it's 90% criminals that are using it. It is not something that you can just get on Google. You're not going to reach the dark web. And I suggest that you don't try to get it unless you have some really good software on your computer to protect it, because you will end up with a virus, almost guaranteed. So, but that is where they are trading information, they're buying, selling information, and so once something is taken, it could be out there forever. Some of the methods that they're going to use, they're going to offer something sometimes for free. You're going to win a prize or free money. If you do this, you're going to get this free money. They may use scare tactics. They may say there's a warrant out for your arrest, or they may say there's a family member that's in jail. But these are all designed to build up a sense of urgency and emotion, because when you're making decisions based upon emotion, you're not really using your logic and thinking, and that's where they want to take you. They want to get you to stop using your reasoning skills and just respond with emotion. Now, there have also been, especially now with the artificial intelligence has developed to a point now where it's very, very easy for impersonations to occur. So, and y'all are business women. How many of you have an employee who you think, if they answered the phone and somebody said that they were you, and you needed to provide an account number because you were trying to do something and didn't have the information, would give the account number to somebody over the phone? And it has happened. So you need to be aware, because the impersonations can be very, very good. And if you have done any recording videos that you've posted online, or speaking engagements, or things like that, it is really easy for criminals to get a hold of those recordings, and once they have it, they can make it say anything they want. So,
Is it true that's why you get those calls and nobody answers, and you're like, hello, hello?
sometimes, yes,
And they copy your voice?
they're looking for your voice. Can be, not always, but it could be.
Is it true you should never say yes? Because then I've heard that, then you're giving them permission to use your voice. Is there any truth
It's
to that?
happened to me, yeah, I
that-
said yes. Yeah, yes,
It all, to be honest, all of those, as far as what is legal, or it varies by state. So, them recording you, in Georgia, it's a one-party state. So, if one party can record the other without their knowledge, it's allowed in the state of Georgia. But what I encourage you to do is to educate any of your employees that have access to your business information with accounts and things like that. Just make sure that they are aware, and one of the things you can do to protect it is to have some sort of code word so that when you call them, if it is an emergency, if you do need them to give you something, have that code word so that they know for a fact that it is you and not someone else, because it has happened. They can also impersonate family members. So they are very deceptive, they're very predatory, but they also are gonna use those fears and curiosities against us as human nature. So for your personal information, to protect yourself, I can't stress enough that when it comes to social media, be mindful of what you're putting on. If you have your date of birth and mostly for your personal accounts, business accounts, obviously you want a wide audience. But just be careful of what personal information you're putting on those accounts. And for your personal accounts, your dates of birth, your phone number, it should all be private. It should all be private, so that people can't, or don't put it on there. When it comes to filling out forms and things like that, if you go online, you're doing something, or ask yourself, why do they want my social security number? Do they have an actual reason for my social security number? Or is it just on the form and I'm filling it out because there's a blank and I feel the need to fill it? You know, if they don't need your date of birth, if they don't need your phone number, you don't have to fill it out. That is your choice. Now, if there's a need, obviously you go to the doctor, you're opening a bank account, things like that, they need it. But if it's just a form where you're filling it out to join a club, do they need your social security number? Probably not. So don't feel the need to fill in the blank. If there's not a reason for it, just because it's there doesn't mean you need to fill it in. Your privacy settings, please use them, especially on your personal accounts. How many use like money apps like Venmo or something like that? How many of you have your privacy settings set to private? How many of you, when you open them, I use Venmo, so I'm most familiar with it, but I open Venmo and I see all these people in my contacts and I see all their transactions because they're not private. They're open to the public. So I can see where people that I know have paid other people that I may or may not know money and the reason why they did it, which to me is too much information.
Yes.
I don't need to know that. So please make sure that you're using on social medias, and every once in a while you need to go in and double check it because they will do updates and it will default your privacy settings back to open, and you have to go back in and reset them to private. So just use those settings because they do work. Your passwords, very important. If you write it down, don't leave it next to your computer. Don't put it in your desk drawer right there where you can open it and look at it. Hide it. I have them written down, because I have so many passwords that I couldn't possibly keep up with. Just the ones I use for work. I have a full sheet of passwords. But I don't keep it where anybody can find it or get to it. So just make sure that you're protecting those things. And when you're creating passwords, avoid what is semi-readily available information. Dates of birth, your anniversaries, your kids' names, your pets' names, other family members' names. Those are not really secure, and they can be guessed, potentially. And it should be very unique for every single app, web page, device. Everything should be unique. That way, if somebody gets a hold of one password, they don't have access to every other account that you have, because that's the first thing they will do, is they will use that password and try to open up everything else, because so many people repeat the use of their passwords. So the other thing to be, right here, my page, make sure I get it. The phone calls. The best thing I can tell you to do with phone call scams, stop answering the phone.
Yes. What a concept.
That's the best thing I can say. You know, with
You don't know.
emails and
Mine goes into
and
a
text
outside log. I never
messages,
hear them.
if it's spam, or if you're looking at it going, this doesn't make sense, delete it and report it as junk or spam, however that works. Do not respond to them, because if you respond to them, now they know that's an active number. So don't respond to them, don't click on any links. Even if it's an email and you're thinking maybe it's legitimate, don't click on anything until you have verified independently that it is legitimate. You can, and don't rely on your caller ID, because that can be faked as well. So just because the number looks good and the caller ID says it's somebody you know, when you answer that phone, just be aware. It could be fake. The best thing you can do is go directly to the source. So if you get an email that's from a person, looks like it's from a person you know, but it just looks strange, contact them independently. Don't respond to the email, pick up your phone, call them, talk to them, make sure that they actually sent that. If somebody's telling you there's a warrant out, call the sheriff's office and talk to the warrant division, because they will tell you if there's a warrant out. If it's about a family member, if they're saying, oh, your child or your grandchild or cousin is in jail, call a family member, call that person, verify the information before you respond with anything, and do it independently on your own terms. If it's a business, go to the website, get the phone number, or just go into your own account. How many have received things from Amazon that says they're from Amazon, and you're like, that makes no sense. That is a scam. So go in, open your Amazon account the way you normally would, because I assure you, if there's a problem with your account, it will be there when you open your account the way you normally do. So just be aware. So if you happen to answer the phone and you all of a sudden are talking to somebody you don't know, and they're telling you, and red flags are starting to go up, don't engage with them. Hang up the phone. I know it's rude, considered rude to hang up the phone, but these guys, you need to hang up the phone on them. Just hang up the phone. If you believe that it may be legitimate, ask for information, don't give it. Ask for their name, ask for their employee number, ask for their supervisor's name, and ask for a callback number. And then hang up the phone. And verify it independently, so you don't get caught up. Some of the red flags that you need to be on the lookout for are things like They want you to pay with a credit card or cryptocurrency or gift card. I'm sorry, not a credit card, a gift card or cryptocurrency. That's an immediate red flag. Legitimate businesses aren't gonna make that demand. If they insist you have to stay on the line and you cannot hang up, because that is a red flag. If they want remote access to your computer, do not give it to them. If they are threatening arrest, if they're threatening a warrant, if you think about it, you know who you are. You know there's not, and there's no reason for there to be. Hang up the phone. The longer you engage, that's what they want. The more you engage, the more likely their tactics are going to be effective, and you're gonna end up giving them something that you're gonna later wish you hadn't. So, the best thing I can say is if you make an oops, if you respond to an email and you give some account information, or you give something and after the fact, it hits you, I shouldn't have done that, that's gonna be a problem. Report it. First, report it to your banks and your credit cards. Freeze your credit. First, get that done. That will at least limit the impact. And then report it to law enforcement. Now, I will tell you that a lot of these things, there is no way to track it. So don't get your hopes up that somebody's gonna go to jail, because a lot of them are overseas. And it's just the way they bounce signals around. But it's still important to report it. And if you have information, if it's a work computer and there's clients' information or whatever, please tell them. Please tell them that their information might have gotten out there so that they can then protect themselves. Are there any questions?